Hey there and welcome. In this video we'll be going over the position CSS property and we'll be having some use cases as well mentioned. So let's not waste time and get started. Here I have three files, a simple index.html with 4 divs. One is the parent element, the container, and the others are simply the children element. We have our style.css with some basic settings. I'm setting the width and height of the cars, the parent, and there are some background color changes with the IDs, so 1, 2, 3. And inside the script.js, you don't really need to worry about it. It's just updating so that whenever I change the position, it prints the right position out to the top of the boxes there. And this is what we're going to start off with, because out of the position attributes, there are 5 positions by default, and the default position is static. That's what everyone has when you write an HTML element. The static is basically just your simple HTML layout when you go and they are all laid out below each other in a flow, a DOM flow style. There is the position relative. Let's start with that. Now this doesn't change much, right? So basically nothing changed. What relative allows you to do is have these top, bottom, left and right properties set by some values. So for example 20 pixels. And so what it does is that relative to its position where it has been laid out, you can modify it. For example, we modify the top position by 20 pixels. If I say minus 20 pixels, it will go up by 20 pixels. Or I could say left. And then if I say 20 pixels from the left, it's going to go right. But if I say minus 20 pixels, it's going to go right. So there are these two axes that you can work with. The next one that we are going to look at is going to be the absolute positioning. Now, what this will do, you see, somehow the middle one disappeared. And this is not because it actually disappeared, but because whenever you put the absolute position to one of these, it gets taken out of the DOM flow and it will be separate. So you can still position this however you want. Top 20 pixels, and there it is. However, it's not relatively positioned, it's positioned in the whole HTML element, absolutely. So if I say top 0, it will put it right to the top of the page, and if I say left 0, it will position it absolutely. So because the HTML element is the parent, it will be positioned to the left of the page. And one other thing to note about absolute is that if the parent element is set to relative, then it will get positioned, the absolute will get positioned according to the relative parent. So the first element that is going to encounter coming up from here is the parent, which is relative, so that's going to be the parent. If I say top minus 50 pixels, then it's going to position it according to that. But if I say, see, so whatever I do, if I say right 0, it's going to be on the right side, but on the container's right side. No, that's about it for absolute positioning. Let's jump on to fixed. Now fixed, what this will say, I'll remove the relative from here. Okay. Fixed will say that no matter what happens, this will get fixed there, as you can see right there. So whatever I do, wherever I scroll, it's always going to be in the same position of the viewport. And this can be useful when you're having a scroll to the top button. For example, it would be right around here at the right bottom of the screen. And then you can always click it to scroll up to the top. but that's basically it for fixed. And now as for the last one, I want to show you the sticky, but on the parent element. So here the position is set to sticky, and this is exactly the same as fixed, except for that it starts off with relative positioning, and whenever you get the viewport to scroll down, then it sticks in the viewport. So it's very useful at navbars, and it only works if you have a positioning set. So for example, top 0, this gives the breakpoints to when it should start getting fixed positioning instead of relative. Because if I remove this, then it's not going to affect it at all, as you can see. But if I say top 20 pixels, it sticks there. There is a 20 pixel gap between the top of the HTML. So one quick example would be coming to our site, and here you can see this is a sticky navbar. As you come down, it's always stuck there. This is done with the same way as you've done here with the top positioning. So that's it for this quick position video. If you liked it, make sure to drop a like below, and there is also another video that goes over Flexbox. If you're not familiar with that, that's also very useful in terms of positioning. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.